Imagine a world where nearly every aspect of daily life, commerce, communication, even entertainment, is shaped by an invisible web of digital connections. This is the essence of the digital economy, an ever-evolving network of activity arising from billions of online interactions among individuals, businesses, devices, and data systems. The digital economy is not just a buzzword or a passing trend. It represents a profound transformation in how value is created and exchanged, reshaping industries, redefining jobs, and introducing new possibilities and challenges for societies around the globe. To understand this transformation, it helps to look back. Throughout history, economies have changed in response to technological innovation. Scholars often describe a progression from agrarian economies, where wealth was rooted in land and agriculture, to industrial economies, powered by machines and manufacturing. In the latter half of the 20th century, another shift occurred. The term information economy gained traction in the 1960s and 1970s, as observers noted that economic life was increasingly organized around knowledge, information technology, and data. This era, often called the information age, marked a turning point. Information became more than just a tool. It became a commodity and, for many businesses, a central source of value. The digital economy builds directly on this foundation. It is defined as economic activity that emerges from the complex interplay of digital technologies, online platforms, electronic transactions, vast networks of data, and the processes that connect them. In practical terms, the digital economy encompasses everything from online shopping to cloud-based software, from digital banking to social media marketing. Its reach is vast, extending into traditional sectors and giving rise to entirely new industries. The phrase digital economy itself entered popular use in the mid-1990s. While Don Tapscott is credited with coining the term in 1995, Nicolas Negroponte also used it that same year, reflecting a growing awareness that digital tools were more than just aids to business. They were transforming the very structure of economic life. Since then, the digital economy has developed rapidly, accelerated by the spread of high-speed internet, mobile devices, and, more recently, the global disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic. During this period, digital economic growth surged as remote work, electronic commerce, and online services became necessities rather than luxuries. At its core, the digital economy is defined by hyperconnectivity, the idea that people, organizations, and machines are linked by networks that cross borders, time zones, and traditional barriers. This borderless nature is a defining characteristic. Information, business functions, and even financial assets can move almost instantaneously from one part of the world to another. The mobility of information means that economic opportunity is less tied to physical location and more dependent on access to digital infrastructure and skills. Several key terms help clarify what sets the digital economy apart. Cloud computing refers to the use of remote servers to store, manage, and process data, enabling businesses to scale rapidly and operate flexibly. Software as a service, or software as a service, allows users to access sophisticated software tools over the internet rather than installing them locally. Blockchain, a type of distributed ledger technology, supports secure transactions and the rise of cryptocurrencies. Artificial intelligence, or artificial intelligence, powers everything from recommendation engines to automated customer service. The digital economy also includes concepts like the creator economy, where individuals generate income through digital content and platforms, as well as digital financial services that use application programming interfaces to connect banks, financial technology firms, and consumers in new ways. Digital economies differ from traditional ones in more than just technology. They rely heavily on electronic transactions and digital marketing, blurring the line between producer and consumer, local and global. Businesses in the digital economy often require significant investment in digital transformation, adopting new tools, retraining workers, and rethinking strategies to remain competitive. Flexibility is essential, as the pace of technological change can disrupt established models almost overnight. The borderless, interconnected nature of digital economies also brings new challenges and opportunities. On one hand, digitization fuels growth, productivity, and innovation, offering new markets and greater efficiency. On the other, it raises questions about access, competition, and inequality. The concept of the digital divide highlights the gap between those who have reliable access to digital technology and those who do not. Digital literacy. The ability to use digital tools effectively has become a crucial skill, not just for individuals but for entire nations seeking to thrive in the new economic landscape. Environment readiness, usage, and policy measures are now seen as major components in developing a successful digital economy. The environment includes infrastructure such as broadband networks and data centers. Readiness involves the skills and attitudes of the workforce, as well as the regulatory framework that supports innovation while protecting consumers and privacy. Usage covers how digital tools are adopted by both businesses and citizens. Policy measures, meanwhile, shape the direction and speed of digital transformation, influencing everything from competition to cybersecurity. The impact of the digital economy is not just theoretical. In measurable terms, it now plays a substantial role in national and global economic performance. For instance, in the United States, the digital economy contributed approximately 10% of gross domestic product in 2022. This share is expected to grow as more industries integrate digital technologies into their operations. The influence extends to business operations and consumer convenience. Online marketplaces, mobile banking, and digital payment systems have become routine, offering speed and simplicity that were unimaginable a generation ago. Yet, with rapid progress comes uncertainty and even anxiety. Historically, technological revolutions have triggered worries about job displacement, widening inequality, and the broader moral implications of change. The shift to digital economies is no exception. While new opportunities emerge, often in fields that did not exist before, some traditional roles become obsolete. Societies must grapple with these changes, weighing the benefits of innovation against concerns about fairness and inclusion. Looking to the future, evidence suggests that the digital economy will continue to evolve, shaped by trends such as artificial intelligence, big data, and new forms of digital currency. Key enablers and catalysts, like improved infrastructure, supportive policies, and ongoing investment in skills, will determine which countries and communities are best positioned to benefit. At the same time, the need for thoughtful governance, robust competition, and a commitment to digital inclusion will remain central topics of debate. In summary, the foundations of the digital economy rest on a series of technological and social transformations that have unfolded over decades. From the first stirrings of the information age to today's hyper-connected world, digital technologies have not just altered the tools people use, they have redefined the very nature of economic activity. As industries adapt, new opportunities arise, but so do new challenges. The digital economy is both a product of human ingenuity and a driver of further change, inviting us all to rethink what it means to create, exchange, and share value in a rapidly shifting world. To understand the machinery of digital economies, imagine a complex ecosystem where digital platforms, data, electronic commerce, payment innovations, and network effects all interact to shape new forms of value and competition. Each of these components is essential, yet none operates in isolation. Together, they form the backbone of digital economic life, influencing everything from how businesses grow to how consumers discover and pay for goods and services. At the heart of digital economies are digital platforms, versatile online environments that connect people, businesses, and resources. These platforms are not simply neutral meeting grounds. They serve as lead agents guiding the evolution of entire economic systems. By making it easier to match supply with demand, whether connecting drivers with riders, sellers with buyers, or freelancers with projects, digital platforms optimize asset use and reduce waste. In many cases, they have surpassed traditional businesses in both reach and efficiency, enabling participants to access global markets with just a few clicks. What distinguishes digital platforms is their ability to facilitate interactions between different groups, such as buyers and sellers, service providers and clients, or content creators and audiences. This multi-sided structure is not just a technical feature but a strategic one. By attracting multiple user groups and orchestrating their interactions, platforms achieve a level of scalability and automation that was previously unattainable. The value of a platform typically increases as more people use it, making it easier for newcomers to find customers and for established businesses to innovate quickly. However, this dynamic also raises important questions about competition and regulation, as large platforms can accumulate significant market power. The economic engine driving these platforms is data. In digital economies, data has become a crucial economic asset, one that rivals and sometimes surpasses the value of traditional resources. Measuring and valuing data remains an ongoing challenge, as its worth depends greatly on how well it aligns with a company's digital orientation and business structure. Data can be analyzed, packaged, and monetized in ways that generate entirely new revenue streams. For example, a company that collects user data may use it to refine its services, target advertising, or license it to third parties, provided privacy and governance frameworks are respected. Yet, the significance of data extends beyond individual firms. Data as an economic good raises questions about ownership, access, and collective benefit. Some scholars argue that data can be treated as a commons, with governance structures designed to ensure broad participation and fair distribution of value. Others highlight the risks of data concentration, where a few firms control vast pools of information, raising concerns about inequality and market dominance. The effectiveness and limitations of digital platforms often depend on how data is collected, managed, and shared, making this a central issue for policymakers and business leaders alike. Electronic commerce sits at the intersection of these trends, offering a clear example of how digital platforms and data reshape everyday economic activity. The growth of electronic commerce has been fueled by the ability to aggregate vast amounts of information, efficiently match buyers and sellers, and personalize shopping experiences through real-time analytics. Consumers enjoy greater choice and convenience, often discovering products and services that would have been inaccessible in a purely offline world. At the same time, businesses can reach new markets, test products quickly, and respond to demand almost instantly. The evolution of electronic commerce relies heavily on new technologies, including the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, which help automate supply chains, forecast demand, and detect fraud. These technologies enable e-commerce platforms to handle millions of transactions daily, ensuring reliability and security at scale. However, the seamless operation of e-commerce also depends on the digital payment systems that power each transaction. Digital payment systems are the circulatory system of the digital economy, allowing money to move quickly and securely across borders and platforms. Recent innovations include real-time payment processing, blockchain-based systems, and the rise of stablecoins, digital tokens pegged to traditional currencies. These tools have enhanced the speed and transparency of transactions, making it easier for businesses and consumers to participate in global e-commerce. The adoption of digital payment systems is shaped by factors such as trust, regulatory frameworks, and technological infrastructure. In countries like Cambodia, for example, the uptake of digital payments has been influenced by both the availability of services and the perceived reliability of digital transactions. More broadly, empirical evidence suggests that digital payments contribute to gross domestic product growth and can help formalize parts of the economy that have long operated informally. The importance of interoperability, enabling different payment systems and platforms to work seamlessly together, has also become increasingly clear as businesses and policymakers seek to create resilient, inclusive payment ecosystems. One of the defining features of digital economies is the prevalence and power of network effects. Network effects occur when the value of a product or service increases as more people use it. For digital platforms, this means that each new user can add value for all others, either directly or indirectly. For example, a marketplace becomes more attractive as it gains more buyers and sellers, while a messaging app becomes more useful as more friends and contacts join. There are several types of network effects. Direct network effects arise when additional users increase value for everyone, such as a social network where each new member expands the circle of possible connections. Indirect network effects occur when growth on one side of a platform, like app developers, boosts value for another side, like smartphone users. Cross-side network effects describe situations where two or more groups benefit from each other's participation, as with payment platforms that connect merchants and customers. Businesses can harness network effects by optimizing user experiences and encouraging the creation of complementary goods and services. For instance, a platform might nurture a community of third-party developers who build apps or plugins, increasing the platform's utility and stickiness. However, network effects also present strategic challenges. They can create positive feedback loops, where growth fuels further growth, but can also lead to negative feedback if users perceive declining value or if new entrants struggle to compete with established giants. The influence of network effects extends to the design of platform-based business models, which are increasingly shaped by competition for users and data. Platforms must balance the need to attract new participants with the imperative to maintain a high-quality experience for existing users. Strategies for fostering and sustaining network effects include lowering barriers to entry, offering incentives for participation, and investing in complementary innovations. Behind the scenes, government, policy, and regulation play a crucial role in shaping the digital economy's landscape. From setting standards for data privacy to ensuring fair competition and overseeing digital payments, policymakers act as stewards of this rapidly evolving domain. The interplay between public and private actors determines not only the pace of innovation, but also who benefits and how risks are managed. Across all these components, the digital economy's growth depends on the interplay of technology, business models, and governance. The rise of software development, digital finance, and electronic commerce has opened new pathways for economic activity, transforming industries and creating opportunities for growth, even as it introduces new challenges related to inclusion, regulation, and sustainability. As economies continue to digitize, understanding these key elements and mechanisms becomes ever more essential, not just for businesses and consumers, but for society as a whole. In the swirling currents of today's digital age, economies no longer unfold solely in bustling city squares or towering office blocks. Instead, they stretch across fiber optic cables, cloud servers, and countless interconnected devices. As digital economies take center stage, their impacts and challenges ripple through business, individual lives, and entire societies, offering remarkable opportunities while raising profound questions about fairness, sustainability, and the very fabric of work itself. Businesses have been among the primary beneficiaries and drivers of this transformation. Digital economies have opened avenues for innovation, efficiency, and global reach that once seemed attainable only for the largest players. A small startup in one corner of the world can now access customers, suppliers, and talent across continents, erasing many traditional boundaries. Evidence shows that, overall, digitalization has promoted economic growth and reduced unemployment rates, especially in countries that have invested in digital infrastructure and skills. In places such as Saudi Arabia, digital transformation has been linked to increased economic efficiency and progress towards sustainable development. The ability to rapidly test ideas, automate processes, and connect with customers online has allowed both new and established firms to thrive in ways previously unimaginable. Yet these benefits come with disruption. Traditional business models often find themselves under siege by digital-first competitors. Legacy systems, ingrained ways of working, and outdated skill sets can become liabilities in a landscape where agility and adaptability are crucial. Many established companies have struggled to update their operations, facing challenges from integrating new digital tools to ensuring data security and overcoming cultural resistance to change. In some industries, automation and improved efficiency have led to sector-specific transformations, creating new opportunities while rendering some traditional roles obsolete. The rise of new business models, such as on-demand services and platform-based marketplaces, demands that businesses pivot quickly and rethink their place in the value chain. For individuals, the digital economy is a double-edged sword. On one side, it offers unprecedented access to information, services, and opportunities for participation. Digital technologies break down barriers, enabling more people to find jobs, learn new skills, or start their own ventures from anywhere with a reliable internet connection. Online work platforms and digital employment services can improve labor market transparency and efficiency, helping match workers with opportunities more effectively. But this new world of work is marked by volatility and, for many, a sense of precarity. Job displacement is a real concern as automation and artificial intelligence systems take over tasks once performed by humans. Workers in some sectors face the challenge of reskilling, adapting to new roles that require different, often more technical, competencies. The information technology skills gap has become a significant obstacle for both workers and employers, with the demand for digital expertise rapidly outpacing supply. The challenges extend beyond the workplace. The digital divide, the gap between those with access to digital technologies and those without, casts a long shadow over the promise of digital economies. This divide is shaped by a complex interplay of economic, geographic, and educational factors. In many regions, especially in parts of the developing world, limited infrastructure, high costs, or lack of digital literacy keep large segments of the population from fully participating in the digital economy. The consequences are far-reaching. Unequal access to education, employment, and social participation can exacerbate existing inequalities and hinder economic growth. Evidence shows that developed economies continue to dominate global digital activity, while less developed countries risk falling further behind. The digital divide is not just a technological issue but a pressing question of equity, one that affects the international distribution of opportunity and shapes the contours of globalization itself. Efforts to close this gap often focus on improving digital literacy, expanding infrastructure, and enacting policies that promote inclusion. However, progress remains uneven. Digital literacy is not only about basic skills, but also about understanding how to navigate new forms of work, manage digital identities, and protect oneself in an increasingly data-driven world. Without concerted action, there is a risk that digital economies could reinforce or even widen the divides they have the potential to bridge. As digital technologies permeate more aspects of daily life, questions of data privacy and protection become ever more urgent. The digital economy thrives on data. Transactions, preferences, behaviors, and identities are collected, analyzed, and traded at a scale never before seen. This data-driven environment raises fundamental challenges about the rights of individuals and the responsibilities of organizations. Privacy frameworks are not just regulatory hurdles. They are essential to building consumer trust, encouraging innovation, and supporting inclusion. Strong data privacy laws have been shown to promote consumer confidence and competition, allowing markets to function more efficiently and fairly. Yet, managing privacy in digital economies is fraught with complexity. On one hand, data portability and openness can foster innovation and empower users. On the other, they can expose individuals to risks if not accompanied by robust protections. The balance between leveraging data for economic growth and safeguarding privacy is delicate, and the trade-offs are often hotly debated. Without proper oversight, abuses and breaches can erode trust, undermining the very foundations of digital commerce and participation. Regulation in the digital era is not a matter of setting rules and forgetting them. The rapid evolution of technology demands adaptive, collective approaches. Policymakers must grapple with the transformation of workplaces, the rise of platform work, and the shifting nature of employment relationships. The traditional bonds between employers and employees are being redefined, sometimes weakening protections or creating ambiguity around rights and responsibilities. Workers and unions are exploring new forms of collective action, seeking to ensure fair treatment in environments where contracts may be short-term, mediated by algorithms, or distributed across borders. The employment relationship itself, long a cornerstone of economic security and innovation, must evolve to meet the demands of a hyper-digitized, globalized economy. There are also regulatory challenges around platform work, where the boundaries between independent contractor and employee can be blurred, and where benefits, protections, and bargaining power are not always clearly defined. These contested spaces require thoughtful policy responses that balance flexibility, innovation, and security for all participants. Underlying all these shifts is the reality that digital economies are not inherently sustainable. The environmental footprint of digitalization is becoming a growing concern. Data centers, cloud computing, and the proliferation of electronic devices consume significant amounts of energy, contributing to carbon emissions and increasing global demand for electricity. The problem of electronic waste is especially acute as devices become obsolete at a rapid pace and are often discarded without proper recycling. As digital economies expand, their environmental impact must be managed through sustainable strategies, from improving energy efficiency to developing better systems for recycling and reducing waste. Sustainable development in the digital era is not only about minimizing harm. It involves rethinking how digital transformation can be leveraged to support broader social and environmental goals. Policymakers, businesses, and civil society must work together to ensure that the benefits of digital economies are widely shared and that the costs, whether environmental, social, or economic, are not borne disproportionately by the most vulnerable. In this connected world, the story of digital economies is one of both promise and paradox. The opportunities for growth, innovation, and inclusion are vast, but so too are the challenges of division, insecurity, and unsustainability. As societies navigate these shifting tides, the choices made today will shape not only the future of work and commerce, but also the prospects for fairness, resilience, and shared prosperity in the digital age. The journey is far from over, and the questions raised by digital transformation about who benefits, who is left behind, and how we govern these new realms remain among the most pressing of our time. Looking ahead, the future of digital economies will be shaped by an extraordinary convergence of technological advances, each bringing both opportunity and disruption. As we move into the coming decades, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and other disruptive technologies are set not only to accelerate economic growth, but also to fundamentally change how individuals and organizations participate in the global marketplace. The scale and speed of these changes require a careful examination of trends, implications, and strategies for thriving in an increasingly digital world. Artificial intelligence stands at the heart of this transformation. Projections suggest that generative AI, alone could boost global productivity and gross domestic product by about 1.5% by 2035, rising to nearly 3% by 2055 and reaching 3.7% by 2075. The most dramatic impact is expected in the early 2030s, as AI systems become more deeply integrated into business operations, government services, and daily life. This anticipated surge in productivity comes from AI's ability to automate complex tasks, analyze massive data sets in real time, and support decision-making at unprecedented speed and scale. However, these gains come with significant changes to labor markets. Experts broadly agree that AI will disrupt existing job roles, with automation likely to replace some tasks entirely while transforming others. History offers a sobering perspective. Previous waves of technological change have always brought both job creation and job loss, but AI's reach into skilled, cognitive, and creative occupations makes this transition especially challenging. Many are concerned about job displacement, as entire sectors face automation or require radically different skill sets. At the same time, evidence shows that when AI is introduced thoughtfully, it can boost productivity without necessarily reducing employment. In some cases, roles heavily exposed to AI adoption have even seen employment growth, as new opportunities emerge around system management, data interpretation, and oversight. For businesses and governments, AI's influence extends far beyond the labor market. The technology is set to reshape how goods and services are designed, delivered, and consumed. Organizations that effectively harness AI may find themselves able to respond to market shifts with greater agility and precision, creating new business models or tailoring services more closely to consumer needs. Yet, the benefits are not automatic. The gap between those who successfully integrate AI and those who struggle to adapt could widen, raising important questions about economic inclusion and equitable access to technological advances. Another cornerstone of the digital economy's future is blockchain technology. Initially recognized for enabling cryptocurrencies, blockchain has evolved into a foundational infrastructure with far-reaching implications. Trends point to the growing importance of tokenization, the process of converting real-world assets into digital tokens that can be traded seamlessly on decentralized platforms. Alongside this, decentralized finance, or DeFi, is emerging as a powerful force, allowing individuals and organizations to access financial services without traditional intermediaries. Regulatory frameworks for digital assets are also expected to mature, providing greater security and stability to the evolving digital asset landscape. Blockchain's role in shaping the digital economy lies in its ability to foster transparency, security, and decentralization. As adoption accelerates, new protocols and solutions are likely to emerge, further embedding blockchain into the fabric of economic and financial systems. By 2026 and beyond, experts anticipate a wave of innovation that will see blockchain powering not only financial transactions, but also supply chain management, digital identity, and even the governance of online communities. The technology's promise of trust and transparency could help address some of the challenges that have accompanied the rapid digitization of commerce and finance. The evolution of blockchain from a niche technology to a core digital infrastructure highlights a broader trend. Disruptive technologies are becoming deeply woven into the basic architecture of the global economy. The Internet of Things, for example, is expected to reach approximately 37 billion connected devices by 2024, further blurring the line between the physical and digital worlds. These devices, ranging from industrial sensors to smart home appliances, will generate vast streams of data, enabling smarter decision-making, optimized resource use, and new forms of automation across industries. This proliferation of connected devices, artificial intelligence, and blockchain is driving what analysts describe as a new era of disruptive innovation. Startups, in particular, are leveraging these technologies to challenge established players, rapidly iterate on business models, and unlock entirely new revenue streams. The ability to adapt, experiment, and innovate dynamically is becoming a key differentiator, not just for startups, but also for established organizations seeking to remain relevant. However, the same forces that fuel innovation can disrupt existing markets, requiring businesses to continually refine their strategies and capabilities. As digital economies grow more complex and interconnected, the need for new competencies becomes increasingly urgent. Project management, for example, must now account for the global, instantaneous nature of digital transactions and the complex interplay of technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the Internet of Things. This shift places a premium on skills such as data literacy, cybersecurity awareness, and the ability to navigate evolving regulatory environments. At the same time, governments and regulators face the dual challenges of fostering innovation while safeguarding public interests, ensuring that digital transformation benefits society as a whole. The economic effects of these disruptive technologies are already prompting a rethinking of economic policy. As digital economies transition, questions arise about how to balance innovation with stability, competition with inclusion, and efficiency with resilience. The introduction of advanced technologies can generate new sources of growth and efficiency, but it can also upend established industries and disrupt livelihoods. Policymakers are increasingly called upon to anticipate these shifts, craft adaptive regulations, and invest in the skills and infrastructure needed for sustainable digital growth. For individuals and organizations seeking to thrive in this fast-evolving landscape, several strategies stand out. Fostering a culture of change, one that embraces experimentation and continuous learning, is crucial. Leveraging data and analytics to inform decision-making can help organizations remain agile and responsive to shifting trends. Regularly refining business models and operations ensures that companies are not caught off guard by sudden technological advances or market disruptions. While these approaches do not guarantee success, they can improve the odds of navigating the uncertainties that define the digital economy's future. The next wave of digital transformation will likely be defined not by a single technology, but by the interplay of many: artificial intelligence, blockchain, the Internet of Things, and beyond. The catalysts for change identified in recent analyses include the growing maturity of these technologies, the continued expansion of digital infrastructure, and the emergence of new regulatory and governance models. Still, the future is not predetermined. The choices made by individuals, organizations, and societies at large will shape the trajectory of digital economies for decades to come. In this landscape of constant change, adaptability and a commitment to lifelong learning emerge as essential traits. The most successful participants in the digital economy will be those who can anticipate trends, embrace innovation, and respond thoughtfully to new risks and opportunities. As digital technologies continue to advance, the challenge will not only be to harness their power for growth, but also to ensure that progress is inclusive, sustainable, and aligned with broader social goals. The journey ahead is filled with both promise and uncertainty. While artificial intelligence and blockchain are set to redefine what is possible, their full impact will depend on how wisely they are integrated and governed. As we conclude our exploration of digital economies, it is clear that the future will belong to those who are prepared to navigate complexity, embrace change, and build resilience, one innovation at a time.